Michael Jackson wasn't just the king of pop, he was also the king of wait. Was that him? His movie history is packed with secret cameos, uncredited roles, and impersonators so good they broke people's memories. Sometimes he wasn't there and everyone swore he was. Other times he showed up and nobody noticed. By the end of this video, you might not trust your movie memories at all. When the King of Pop entered the Men in Black universe, in 2002, Men in Black 2 delivered one of the most unexpected celebrity cameos of the decade. In a blink and you miss it moment, Michael Jackson appears as Agent M, dressed in the franchise's iconic black suit, softly delivering his line with unmistakable sincerity. The moment became instantly iconic, but what most viewers never knew was that Jackson wanted much more. Behind the scenes, Michael reportedly pushed for a significantly expanded role. He didn't just want a cameo, he wanted to be a full Men in Black agent. His fascination with science fiction, secret organizations, and surveillance culture made the franchise deeply appealing to him. However, rewrites, scheduling conflicts, and creative decisions reduced his involvement to a brief comedic beat. Even so, the Michael Jackson wasn't just the king of pop, he was also the king of wait. Was that him? His movie history is packed with secret cameos, uncredited roles, and impersonators so good they broke people's memories. Sometimes he wasn't there and everyone swore he was. Other times he showed up and nobody noticed. By the end of this video, you might not trust your movie memories at all. Few seconds were enough. The cameo became one of the most replayed scenes in the entire film, marking the first time many viewers realized Michael Jackson's relationship with Hollywood was stranger than expected, and it was only getting started. The most bizarre cameo ever filmed at Neverland. Few Michael Jackson appearances are debated more than his cameo in Miss Castaway and the Island Girls, a low-budget slapstick comedy that feels more like a hallucination than a finished movie. Shot at Neverland Ranch, Jackson appears as a mysterious Vatican-style messenger dressed entirely in white, surrounded by crude visual effects that look closer to a home video experiment than a studio production. The scene is short, strange, and tonally disconnected from the rest of the film. Jackson reportedly agreed to the appearance as a favor to the director, a personal friend. There was no major studio strategy behind it, no branding campaign, just Michael Jackson doing something bizarre because he felt like it. What makes the cameo historically significant is timing. This was one of the final film appearances Michael Jackson ever made before his death. That alone has turned an otherwise forgettable movie into a permanent cult curiosity. Michael Jackson was in Back to the Future, but not how you think. Michael Jackson does not physically appear in Back to the Future Part 2, yet his presence is undeniable. In the futuristic cafe scene set in 2015, a holographic waiter appears, dancing, glowing, and promoting Pepsi with Michael Jackson's unmistakable style. The character isn't Jackson himself, but it is an officially licensed digital likeness created specifically for the film. This wasn't parody, it was cultural acknowledgement. The filmmakers treated Michael Jackson as a permanent fixture of the future, assuming that decades ahead, his image would still dominate pop culture. That decision aged remarkably well. Fans still rewatch the scene, scanning for Easter eggs, but the MJ reference remains the most memorable. He didn't need to show up physically, his absence felt like a presence. The Simpsons episode that became a legend. One of the most famous hidden voice performances in television history belongs to Michael Jackson in The Simpsons episode Stark Raving Dad. Jackson secretly voiced the character Leon Kompowski, a man in a mental institution who believes he is Michael Jackson. Due to contractual restrictions, Jackson was uncredited and used the pseudonym John J. Smith. Here's where it gets stranger. Michael spoke all the dialogue, rewrote jokes, and shaped the character, but did not sing the songs. Those vocals were performed by a sound-alike because Jackson's label refused to allow him to sing on the show. Years later, the episode was pulled from syndication following renewed controversy surrounding Jackson turning it into lost media. That only amplified its myth. To this day, it remains one of the most analyzed celebrity voice appearances ever made. When fans swore Michael Jackson was in Scary Movie. For years, audiences were absolutely convinced that Michael Jackson appeared in Scary Movie 3, and not as a blink-and-you-miss-it cameo, but as a full surprise gag. The truth is stranger. Jackson was never involved. The role was played by Edward Moss, one of the most technically accurate Michael Jackson impersonators ever recorded on film. His voice, posture, facial expressions, and even micro-movements were so precise that many viewers walked out of theaters believing they had just seen the real MJ mocking himself. Even today, clips from the movie regularly resurface online with captions claiming, "Michael Jackson was actually in Scary Movie?" That confusion says everything about Jackson's cultural imprint. His image had become so deeply embedded in global consciousness that imitation didn't feel like parody. It felt like reality. South Park's most uncomfortable parody. South Park has never been subtle with celebrity satire, but its portrayal of Michael Jackson as Mr. Jefferson unsettled audiences in a way few parodies ever had. The voice was eerily accurate. The childlike tone, the speech patterns, the physical mannerisms, it all felt disturbingly familiar. For years, fans genuinely believed Jackson had secretly voiced the character, especially given his past history of uncredited appearances. The creators later confirmed it was Trey Parker, not Jackson. Still, the rumor refused to die. The parody mirrored public perception of Jackson during that era so closely that it crossed from satire into discomfort. The episode became one of South Park's most controversial moments, raising lasting questions about where satire ends and cultural obsession begins. Ghosts? Michael Jackson's lost horror film. Unlike his other film appearances, Ghosts was entirely Michael Jackson's vision. Co-written with Stephen King, the 40-minute short film was less a music video and more a full-scale horror narrative. Jackson didn't just play the lead, he portrayed multiple characters, including a grotesque authoritarian mayor and several supernatural figures. Heavy prosthetics, advanced makeup, and early digital effects made the transformation so convincing that many viewers didn't realize they were watching Jackson in several roles at once. The project premiered at Cannes, cost millions to produce, and featured some of the most ambitious choreography and makeup work of the 1990s. Yet controversy surrounding Jackson limited its distribution, quietly pushing it into obscurity. Today, Ghosts is viewed as a forgotten cinematic experiment, a pop icon attempting to reshape horror through music, dance, and transformation. The role that changed everything. The Wiz? Before Thriller, before superstardom, Michael Jackson played the Scarecrow in The Wiz, an urban reimagining of The Wizard of Oz starring Diana Ross. The film struggled commercially, but Jackson's performance surprised critics. More importantly, it changed his life. On set, he met Quincy Jones, the collaboration that would later produce Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. This wasn't just a movie role, it was the beginning of a cultural earthquake, when parody became indistinguishable from reality. In Hot Shots, Part 2, a brief Michael Jackson look-alike gag confused audiences for decades. The impersonator said little, but looked close enough to keep debate alive. Once again, Jackson's image proved impossible to parody cleanly. Even jokes felt real. The strange power of absence. Michael Jackson's cinematic legacy is not defined by how often he appeared, but by how powerfully he lingered. Sometimes it was really him. Sometimes it wasn't, and sometimes the difference barely mattered. That's the rarest form of cultural dominance there is. If you enjoy uncovering hidden stories behind pop culture, movies, and legends like Michael Jackson, like and subscribe, because the stories you think you know always have another layer.